Hello!
We're here!
Yes! Back again.
The day after a pay-per-view?
Wait, have we ever done this before?
No, this is the first time we've ever recorded the day after a pay-per-view.
We should try and do it
2
more
years
often.
of doing this show.
Oh,
with
wouldn't it be
like
good?
some hiatuses. So
Maybe we'll. What day of the week is the Rumble Down Undle? So what's
Dude,
it
the
called?
promo, it's just the Super
Down
Show.
Under Super Show?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But the promo they had on this pay-per-view was awesome for it. The Aussie, oi, oi, oi one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. Thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rumble Down Undle?
Yeah, the Rumble Down Undle.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
That's very
That's
good. I like it. The Rumble
They're
Down Undle.
doing a network special in Melbourne.
Yeah. I said it right.
Yeah. They get annoyed if you pronounce the R.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. It's gonna be like 2.5 weeks before I'm there for PAX Aus, and I'm like, no.
Oh, you could have gone. Yeah.
It's never. It's not as bad as when I completely hecked up. The worst I've ever hecked up wrestling wise was when Kathleen and I went to Japan.
Yeah.
I guess almost 3 years ago now. We had a direct flight from Vancouver to Osaka, and we were planning our trip, and we're like, okay, we'll stay the night in Osaka, and then we'll immediately just like head to like Nara, Kyoto. We went up to the Alps and did like Takayama, and then Tokyo, and then we spent our last 2 days in Osaka, and then we flew back out. When we were in Kyoto, when we were in Tokyo,
Yeah.
AJ Styles was defending his New Japan title at a massive show in Osaka. And when we were in Osaka, Beast in the East was recording in Tokyo. Oh. And I didn't know about either of these before we were there.
Yeah.
And it was already too late to rearrange the schedule. And I was like, well, how's all this amazing wrestling happening in Japan and I don't know? And the thing is, I didn't really, like, the New Japan thing, I was like, oh, that'd be really cool to see a wrestling show in Japan.
Yeah.
And AJ, I recognize AJ Styles from when I used to watch TNA. That's cool. But, like, I didn't know anything about New Japan at the time.
Yeah.
And then the Beast in the East thing, I was like, oh, that was where Brock Lesnar murdered Kofi Kingston.
Right. Yeah. That's where Finn Balor won his NXT title, too.
Yeah. So.
Man, that's on my bucket list, is seeing a wrestling show in Japan.
Oh, yeah. It'd be really cool.
Preferably a DDT show, because they do weird stuff. That's where Kenny Omega wrestled the blow-up doll. Their blow-up doll was the champion.
That was the champion?
Yeah, it was the champion.
I didn't know
of the
that.
promotion.
That's amazing.
It was like undefeated for like forever.
Tonight, on the other hand,
Yeah.
we are doing a pay-per-view that doesn't have any blow-up dolls, but it does have a big old cage.
Yep.
So that's fun. It is Hell in a Cell.
I was hoping you were like, it doesn't have a blow-up doll, but it sure does have a couple dummies.
that would have been much better.
Yeah. I was like,
Man,
I'm gonna
jump
let
in
him
with
run.
that, So, yeah, it's Hell in a Cell 2018. I guess I should actually remind you that it is live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas, which is not where we saw the Royal Rumble, because that was the Alamo Dome.
Yes.
It was the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas, and brought to you by WWE Champions the Mobile Game.
Yep.
They always refer to
played it?
as WWE Champions the Mobile Game. No, I have it. I've never.
You
played.
have it?
It's free. It's a free download. I downloaded it like 1.5 years ago, and I never played it. It's a match 3 game.
Yeah.
It's basically like
like Puzzle Quest?
It's like Puzzle Quest. It's a match 3 game.
Talk to Peach.
But the top half of the screen is like wrestling people doing jumpy moves.
Oh,
So
cool.
Anyway,
So it's like Puzzle Fighter?
kinda, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dangerous now,
Puzzle.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Did you see the poster for this show?
Yeah. With Roman and Braun looking like
as demons.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It looked really bad on the thumbnail on the network.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, wow, that doesn't look good. And then I saw like a full version. I was like, ooh, spooky. Okay, I'm on. Yeah. Ooh, that's sufficiently spooky.
On the kickoff show, briefly, the New Day, in this case, Big E and Kofi Kingston competing, defended the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the team of Rusev Day,
Yeah.
which is Rusev and Aiden English,
Yes.
who are not split up.
No.
They were just temporarily split up so that they could do that mixed tag thing with Lana.
Yeah.
And now they're back together, which is good.
I think this happened because I think it was either one of the Bludgeon Brothers or both of them. Both of the brothers got hurt. They got injured. That's why they had to have another tag team tournament.
Okay.
Because I was like, man, didn't they just do a tag team tournament? And then I found out that one of the brothers got injured.
Yeah, the New Day defeated them on the August 21st episode of SmackDown in a no DQ match.
Yes.
And then Paige scheduled 2 triple threat tag matches.
Yes.
And the winners of those would face each other to determine who would face New Day at Hell in a Cell. And so the Bar won the first match, defeating the Club and the Clones, who exist.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah.
The clones are back, baby.
And Rusev Day defeated somehow the Usos and Eric Young and Killian Dane from Sanity, who also exist now.
Yes.
Because they were, after WrestleMania, it was like, Sanity is coming to SmackDown without Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Yeah.
They just never appeared. And then a couple weeks later, they were like, there was just a slide when it went to commercial being like, Sanity, they're still coming. And then they eventually showed up.
I just picture Eric Young be like, hey, we're still coming.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, kids.
So yeah, they won on the pre-show in the shortest match of the night at almost 9 minutes.
Yeah.
The shortest match on the main card was 12:05. This was this was an evening of solid matches.
With the ending to this match, which I saw, it feels like they're still breaking them up because Rusev wanted to be tagged in, and then Aiden English was like, no, I'm going to win this match. And he had, I can't remember which member of the New Day, but he had them in the Accolade. And then they broke out.
Aiden English had them in the Accolade?
Yeah, Aiden English had them in the Accolade. And then...
Aiden English's Accolade is not as good as Rusev's Accolade.
Yeah. And then Rusev came in the ring to like help out Aiden English, and then Rusev got thrown out, and then Aiden English got hit by the Trouble in Paradise by Kofi Kingston, and then he got pinned. Yeah. So it was Aiden English's fault. Aiden English also tagged himself in at one point too. Did that thing. You slap your opponent's back, and then your partner's like, what the hell, man? Why wouldn't you just slap him back?
I don't know.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you came up to me and were like, I'm going into this match, I'd be like, what the fuck? No. Like, no, stay where you are. You know?
I assume there's a cooldown time.
Yeah. It's like they have to actually, you have to actually like grab that little rope, rope.
You got to actually get through the ropes and then do it.
Yeah, but there's that little rope they make them hold at the corner, which is like the tag rope. Yeah.
There's a lot of tag shenanigans happening in a match later tonight, but for this match...
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Rusev because it's like it feels like they always want to push him and then they never do.
I don't know if they want to push him. We want them to push him because he's great. But here we are. First match of the night on the main card, however, is Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy in a Hell in the Cell match.
Jeff Hardy.
This is Jeff Hardy's first ever Hell in a Cell match. And as soon as they said that, I thought to myself, oh, so Jeff's dying tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
He did. He tried.
Oof.
Hey, also, Matt Hardy is retired.
Actually retired.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was at a house show in somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but he's like, I have fulfilled my contractual obligations with WWE. It's been a good run. I gotta go home and be a family man. Like he turned into Guile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's definitely working through some sort of injury.
Yeah.
That's like not.
Apparently pretty bad. Yeah. So I think it's like he's like I gotta go.
Wow.
And that was it.
Jeez.
So Matt Hardy's done.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
it does suck.
At least he had a good.
I wonder what happened to Bray.
I hope
what's gonna happen to Bray.
I hope they do stuff because the Deleters of Worlds thing was fun.
Yeah.
We got to see some amount of broken Matt Hardy in the WWE.
Yeah.
They got to do the ultimate deletion,
which was sweet.
Yeah, which was sweet.
Yeah.
So at least that got to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
I hope he gets a televised send off.
Like definitely Hall of Fame material.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
They'll go in together.
Nobody is like
they'll go in as the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they will go in as the Hardy Boys, but I mean, they've both had great because like Matt's always been seen as Jeff has always been seen as the singles guy, right? Mm-hmm. But like Matt Hardy's had some great gimmicks, like the Matt Hardy, the V1, the version 1,
or
version 2, And like the Matt facts, like Matt Hardy hates mustard. Like he's had some really great stuff.
Still, one of my favorite SmackDown feuds was Matt Hardy versus MVP for the the US title. It was just this ongoing. It was just a series of like tests of skill. It was a great feud.
Yeah.
So this match, Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy, is happening because they don't much like one another.
Also, Randall Keith Orton thinks that Jeff Hardy isn't grateful for the path that Randy paved for every other superstar. Like he uses it as a kind of a general thing.
Yeah.
But he's like, everyone just always overlooks like, man, this was the match where I watched you and I was like, man, Randy Orton's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd like Randy Orton. He just, I don't know, he's always kind of there for me. But I think this was the match where I was like, man, he's good. Especially when he's a heel and when he's this kind of heel.
Yeah.
They gave the idea that they were going to bring kind of like an alter ego of Jeff Hardy around because the whole build-up, Randy Orton's like, I'm going to like remove you from existence and like I'm going to delete you from history or make you obsolete. Or something. They say stuff like that all the time, and then Jeff Hardy had a couple like nonsensical promos leading up to it, which
sounds like Jeff Hardy,
which was like, like it was just Jeff Hardy being all weird and artsy, you know. But yeah, match was great. I love this match, and like even on the build-up, there was a point in the build-up where Randy Orton did the thing, like he did the screwdriver thing. Obviously, we'll get into that.
He like put his finger through the hole in Jeff's ear because he's got like stretched out lobes for like piercings or whatever, but he didn't have a piercing in it. Yeah. And Randy like put his finger through there and was like pulling on his earlobe. And
I guess like Randy or Jeff Hardy cut a promo after that, like a week after that incident had happened. And he's like, the pain opened my eyes, dude. Something. Can't remember what the whole thing was. But.
Yeah. I assume it's one of those things that looks gross but doesn't actually hurt. Like I'm really wrenching on my earlobe right now, and it's like.
It like stings.
That's
a little.
Annoying.
Yeah. Stop it. Maybe it's.
That's fine. That wouldn't be as bad as taking like a thumbtack bump.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I always figured it was like kind of like pulling on your elbow.
Yeah.
You know, where you don't have any.
You got the little like.
You don't.
That'd be funny. Someone comes out with like a little like a wood clamp or something, just like. Haha! Like, ow, no.
That would be my submission
hole. Like some clothes pegs.
That would be my submission hole.
I put clothes pegs on your weird elbow flap. Ow, stop
it.
I guess. So yeah, this was
oddly comfortable.
This was brutal. This was a hell of a match. I mean, I said, I hear Jeff Hardy's first Hell in a Cell match. Oh, that means Jeff Hardy's dying because Jeff Hardy is known for big moments, big spots, doing ridiculous moves, jumping off of like the pod inside inside the Elimination Chamber, jumping off of very, very tall ladders, doing a lot of unwise maneuvers, and so here he is in his first ever Hell in a Cell match. Well, something's obviously going to happen.
Yeah,
probably not going to Mick Foley it.
No,
which they reference frequently. There was a video. So one of the most replayed clips in WWE history is Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off the top of Hell in a Cell, which is 20 years ago now.
Which I remember being in high school.
Sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Leading up to this, on the YouTube channel, they put up a video of that match with Mick Foley and Undertaker providing current day recollections of it.
Yep.
And after the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view ended, there was a special, like a network special with Mick Foley called like 20 Years of Hell or something, doing basically a sort of like a stand-up / storytelling.
He came here, we missed it.
Yeah, doing a stand-up / storytelling routine of the match, including brand new information that Undertaker's foot was fractured.
Yeah.
During the match.
Yeah, I heard that.
Wasn't fractured during the match.
Before.
During the match, Undertaker was working with a fractured foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's messed up, dude.
Yeah.
Undertaker's the toughest man on the planet, full stop.
Yeah, good Lord. No wonder Shawn Michaels was afraid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a different story for another time. This match, however, 25 minutes.
Yep.
Wow.
It didn't feel like 25 minutes.
No.
I didn't think I was actually going to like this match. I was like, when they were opening with it, I was like, all right, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never been like the biggest fan of either man.
There's no, yeah, that's fair. There's no title on the line, and it's a Hell in a Cell match, and so it makes sense to open the show with it, right? It's like, oh, open with the Hell in a Cell, the brand new cell. It's red now.
Yeah, I like it.
They did a 2.5 hour. This was a great use of social media. They did a 2.5 hour live stream of the WWE ring workers putting the cell together.
Putting this hell of a thing together.
Yeah, it was just really interesting. I didn't watch the 2.5 hours of it, but
we skipped through it.
Yeah. But I scrubbed through it.
Scrubbed through it, and we're like, oh, cool.
Jay Hunter from OSW tweeted, sitting doing nothing while watching workers has to be one of the most Irish things. He's like, yes, you go do that. And then what we were referencing earlier is at one point late in the match, Randy goes under the ring and pulls out a toolbox. And selects from it a screwdriver, and brings the screwdriver into the ring, and puts the screwdriver through the hole in Jeff's ear and twists it around.
Yeah.
And it
was very Attitude Era.
Very
I was like, are we transported back in time, I guess?
It was, you described it before we went on as body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was really like, like you can, someone gets hit and you're like, that looks like it really hurts. This was like,
It's like, stop. It's like, Randall.
That's unsettling.
Randall, you put that screwdriver down right now.
Yeah. And the finish of the match, Jeff has Randy on a table.
Yeah.
Climbs up a ladder, and you're like, okay, so he's going to jump off the ladder onto the, through the table because he's Matt Hardy, and of course he would do something that ridiculous. No, not ridiculous enough. He climbs up the ladder, grabs the top of the cell, and gets himself along, and gets ready to. He's like swings himself up to get ready to drop on Randy from the increased height of the top of the cell.
Yeah.
But at the last moment, Randy rolls off the table, and Jeff just falls right through the table, onto the ring, which it looked
like it hurt.
Very impressive. It looked like it hurt, and the ref immediately starts freaking out, calling for EMTs. He's like yelling to the back. He's like, "Get me EMTs. We need help." And Randy tries to pin Jeff, and the ref's like, "No, he's hurt. He's injured. Move."
So good.
And Randy is like, he's down. We're in is Hell in a Cell. And this is as the cell's going up. Yeah. Randy's like, do your job, and gets down and pins Jeff in the debris of this table. And the ref is like, fine, I get fine. 1, 2, 3, and counts. And then the bell rings, and Randy's declared the winner. And then Randy's like, okay, cool, thanks. Now you can help this guy out. Whatever, fine. And then they bring the stretcher down, and EMTs come, and they put the neck brace on Jeff and load him on and take him away. And then throughout the rest of the evening, they talk about how Jeff Hardy had been taken to a local medical facility.
Yeah.
Because they never say the word hospital.
Vince hates it.
Don't know why.
No, Vince hates the word medical facility or hospital.
I know. I don't know why.
Don't know why. I think it's because fans would go to the hospital.
Oh.
That's why. And because now that they say medical facility, then they don't know where they're going.
That could be anything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Even a boat.
I mean, I hope not. Can you imagine having like like broken limbs and you're on a
But a couple spots that I really liked from this match was, when Randy was leaving, he had belt marks all over his body.
Right, because
Jeff took his belt off.
Took Jeff's studded belt off, and they started beating each other with it.
Yeah. And then there was another point where Jeff set up a ladder upside down outside the ring.
Oh.
And then went to go suplex Randy, and Randy reversed it, and then Randy reversed it into the front suplex.
Don't set the thing up. You're going to go through the thing. We talked about this when Kevin Owens built that elaborate Rube Goldberg.
On the very first episode of this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also that.
That was him, Dean Ambrose, putting him through. Well, Kevin Owens done it a couple times. The Royal Rumble, the first show we ever did, was the double tables.
Yeah.
And then the chairs with Roman.
Yeah, I was imagining
that one. No, but the very first episode of this show.
Yeah, you're right.
We're coming up on 3 years.
Holy moly.
Feel old yet? This is Sidewalk Slam now.
I think we're both in better shape than we were when we started.
We very much are. We've lost a lot of weight. Collectively, Graham and I have lost a lot of weight.
Another whole person.
I bet you.
They're out there somewhere going, kill me.
When I We just open, it's like Quato, like on our belly, like. But like when we started the show, I was like 280, 275, and now I'm about 250.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like I think I peaked at like in the 240s, and I'm down around like 210 now.
Nice. Yeah. We lost like almost a small child, a toddler.
Crap, where are they?
Where is this?
No.
We've lost.
I have to worry about that now. Hornswoggle.
We're going to get an ominous email saying the owner of Sidewalk Slam is very upset with us. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Let's just move on. The SmackDown Women's Championship match is next. Charlotte defending against Becky Lynch.
Oh, baby.
So,
So,
we talked about the SummerSlam match.
yeah.
Which was a triple threat.
Yes.
And they were bickering back and forth through the match, and then Charlotte got the pin on Becky, if I recall.
Yes.
Made Becky submit.
Becky had Carmella in the
disarm her.
hit the natural selection.
Yeah,
and then
right, that was it. Charlotte hit natural selection on Becky. So then, after the match, they were doing their, it was all a match, but we're still friends thing, and then Becky attacked Charlotte.
And the crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
Because
Because the crowd is behind Becky, but WWE refuses to let you cheer for the person you want to cheer for. You will cheer for the person they decide.
We'll talk about that at the main event.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's so weird. So they were like, they decided they're going to try and make Becky sort of the heel, which is the silliest move. And the crowd wasn't really... When Becky started cutting heel promos on SmackDown, the crowd was booing, and you could sort of tell that they were booing at the wrong places. They were not booing the promo; they were booing the notion that Becky was cutting a heel promo.
Yeah.
So they sort of eased off a little bit on that. It wasn't a pure face heel dynamic. It was just that Becky's pissed off.
Yeah.
She's still a good person, but she's justifiably honked off at Charlotte and the fact that she hasn't got this championship. Remember, Becky was the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Not that you would recall that.
And Charlotte's thing was like, I don't know, winners win.
Yeah.
Like that's her thing. It's
I'm
like,
Charlotte. I'm Charlotte Flair. What's up?
She's like, you're upset because you don't have this title and you think you deserve it, but I take the things that I think that I'm a superior athlete.
Yeah. But I have it.
I have it.
So who deserves
So
it?
if you want it so bad, you have to win it, right? And Becky's just like cutting like these great promos. And there's this one part where Charlotte defends against Carmella on SmackDown and then beats Carmella, which I think removes Carmella completely from the title picture.
Yeah.
That was like the way to get her out.
That makes sense.
Which is weird because now Carmella is teaming up with R-Truth. And they're doing a thing. So I guess Carmella's like a babyface now. Or whatever.
I mean, she was doing stuff with New Day for a while. She can do whatever.
Yeah,
people
they can do whatever.
Yeah, people like her.
So,
Mixed Match Challenge is coming up.
yes.
That's
a good
it.
point.
Second season of Mixed Match Challenge starts this week.
Yeah. So there was one point after Charlotte beat Carmella and then Becky attacked Charlotte after the match. And there's this great moment. She's like, you bitch. And then like kicked her in the face. And it was just awesome. And then the next week, Charlotte wins a match. I can't remember who it was against, but she went to take a selfie with some fans in the crowd. And then she gets attacked and Becky pulls this wig off. And it was really great. The build-up was awesome. It was awesome.
Also, Becky with black hair and big chunky glasses. Yeah. It's a good look.
It's a real good look.
Yeah. So here we are with this singles match. It's real good. You could tell that, like, again, Becky's she's not like looking down at the crowd or whatever, but she's not doing her normal like playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
She's very focused.
Yeah.
And she's not.
It was a very like clean, simple match in the fact that Charlotte went for the leg, Becky went for the arm.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the match.
I
also like the beginning too, like the announcers were hyping up how much of an athlete Charlotte is and like how powerful she is.
Yeah.
How much stronger she is than Becky. And like Charlotte was trying to out-wrestle Becky and it wasn't working. So.
Because Becky was trying to weaken Charlotte's arm so she could lock in the disarm her.
Yeah.
And Charlotte was trying to weaken Becky's leg so that she would tap out to the figure eight.
Yeah.
Simple.
Simple.
Ring psychology is what they call that. And it was great. Yeah, there was just a lot of working those body parts. It's so much better when you see it.
Yeah.
It sounds bad to describe it, but it was really solid. It was like, everything that's happening here makes sense.
Yes.
And they're telling a story.
I really like this whole show, but these like first few matches were awesome.
Overall, this was a really solid show, honestly.
But yeah, Becky wins.
Woo!
By
Wait,
rolling
no,
up.
Not Woo. Woo would have been if Charlotte won.
Yeah.
Ric Flair just got married again.
Yep. You see the pictures?
The five-time married man.
Taking a ride on Space Mountain.
Yeah.
That's my...
Oldest ride, longest line.
Yeah. Do you see that tweet?
No.
There's a tweet that said that oldest ride, longest line.
Yeah.
An aggressive kissing photo.
Yeah. I didn't...
Very aggressive. I felt uncomfortable looking
I've
at
only been married the once.
Yeah.
So, maybe I've got a lot of time to work this out.
Yeah.
But I certainly didn't go for aggressive tongue action in that moment. But maybe when I get to my fifth...
I mean, God... I hope not.
Yeah, God willing not.
Yeah.
But
I hope you don't have to get to your fifth.
I hope I don't have to get to my second.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, it was like, oh, Rick, come on.
Yeah.
Calm down, you.
But yeah, Becky rolled up a spear.
Oh.
And got the 1-2-3. The clean 1-2-3.
Yeah.
And then after the match, Charlotte went to go shake her hand, and Becky mouths the words, "You can't take this moment from me," and raises the title and walks away. It was awesome. Loved it.
It was great. The crowd was super into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next match, a match for the Raw tag team titles.
Yep.
Champions Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So we mentioned on the SummerSlam episode that
Yes.
Dean Ambrose had recently returned.
Yeah.
And he was present at SummerSlam. He was there.
Oh, sorry, this reminds me. We never mentioned that Renee Young
Oh yeah.
has taken over the coach's spot permanently on commentary. Graham is very happy. I just like, the coach was white noise to me. Just like, I didn't even realize what he was saying half the time.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said in the SummerSlam episode, when he's the only commentator I've heard that he would say something and it wouldn't be joking bickering, it wouldn't be kayfabe bickering.
Yeah.
It was when Michael Cole had to be like, "Coach, no."
Yeah.
Like literally, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Renee Young, WWE is making it, a big deal about like, hey, it's the first full-time female commentator, which is great.
Very awesome.
But Renee is terrific.
She's good too.
Yeah.
She's very good. Yeah, she's been great.
And Corey had like one little reference to her possible bias, but otherwise they don't mention that she and Dean are together.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like.
I like, there was one point when Dean was entering the ring and Renee Run was like, "Dean Ambrose has been putting in work lately." It's like, yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
Renee.
Oh my God, yeah.
He looks huge compared to old Dean, 2008 or 2017 Dean.
Yeah. So that's why you were reminded.
Yes.
I assume, because
Yeah,
I talked about
'cause
Dean
of Dean-
Ambrose.
Dean
so
Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose was present at SummerSlam. He was in Seth's corner. And then after SummerSlam, random Shield reunion
Yeah.
for no long-term benefit. Like they were Rollins and Ambrose showed up in their vests and they did the Shield thing, and they showed up
Because
and
Braun
helped.
Strowman was going to cash in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and so they showed
Okay.
up and they helped Roman Reigns out, and then it was weird.
It felt weird. Like it was like, does
they-
Roman need help? Like,
Yeah, and also they're not the Shield still.
yeah.
Like it.
Sierra Hotel.
You ended up in this weird situation where you had Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman as the headliners that were feuding, and then Roman had Seth and Dean in his corner, and so Strowman had Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre sort of in his corner,
Well,
but why? Because
yeah.
they're not friends. Strowman doesn't need or want.
They just spent a whole year explaining how Braun Strowman doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, and so
Doesn't need any.
it was this weird
Except
sort
for
of
Nicholas.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt like a weird contrived scenario to get to this match,
Yeah.
which is Ziggler and McIntyre defending against.
Yeah. Because
Seth
Ziggler and McIntyre
Ambrose.
beat the B team on Raw
Yeah.
for the titles. And then, yeah. McIntyre's been awesome, though. Man.
Oh yeah, they both have. Ziggler's been amazing.
Yeah, Ziggler's been great too.
Who benefited from the supplementary draft more than Ziggler? Like no one's gone
I feel like
from where
we say
they
that
were.
for both drafts that had happened for the time of the show.
Yeah.
We say Ziggler has benefited the most both times for his IC feud with the Miz after the first shakeup.
Yeah.
Which was awesome, and then they kind of duffed it, but that's going to happen. I guess that happens with Dolph a lot. And then, he moved to Raw, and everyone's like, oh, Ziggler moved to Raw. Now he's been paired with McIntyre, and it's like, it's almost like Dolph Ziggler is good.
Yeah. Hot take. Dolph Ziggler's good.
Match was awesome.
Yeah, this was solid.
McIntyre and Ziggler wrestled like the old school heel, cut off half the ring, like revival style. Like, I don't even want to say revival style because it's an older style than the revival.
It's funny because ostensibly, Rollins and Ambrose, per their days in the Shield, have more experience operating as a tag team.
Yeah.
Not recently, but more experience overall than Ziggler and McIntyre. But yeah, Ziggler and McIntyre were wrestling like a tag team, and Rollins and Ambrose were wrestling like two guys in a tag match.
Yeah.
And
it was weird.
And that's not enough to win.
Nope. It was fun though, a lot of close calls and
it was great.
Old-fashioned wrestling match.
But yeah, I also really liked when McIntyre backed Rollins into the corner. The ref was distracted, and Ziggler just hopped up on the turnbuckle and just started wailing on him while the ref couldn't see.
Yeah, like
and then jumped down to like way on the other side of the apron. It was just like.
There was a great moment where they were cutting off Rollins. Like they kept Rollins in the ring forever, and then Rollins did the thing where he tries to jump, and then they catch him, and like he's reaching, and then Ziggler distracts the ref so he doesn't see the tag happen, and then Ambrose tries to come in, and I was like, "Hey, I didn't see the tag." Like give me that.
Really,
every
really
tag
good.
match, I love it.
Really good.
Yeah.
Just great in-ring storytelling.
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about. So yeah, solid match. The Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, the champions, defend successfully because of shenanigans.
Well, no, because it was clean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they were.
Oh, do you mean like using every little upper hand they could get?
Yeah, the win,
bending the rules.
The win was clean, but they did a lot of
Yeah, because like Seth hit that like Falcon Arrow superplex kind of combo where he was going to hit it, and then Drew McIntyre just takes his
drop kicks. Just. How tall is Drew McIntyre?
Oh, he's like 6'6", 6'7", somewhere around there. He's a big boy.
6'5".
Oh, he's my height.
Yeah,
I'm one Drew McIntyre. No, Drew McIntyre is way bigger than I am.
Your height doing a missile drop kick?
Yeah. I could never do a drop kick.
I'd die.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you hit me with a missile drop kick, I would just just cease to exist. I get banished to the realm of wind and ghosts. Gone.
What's that from? I've never heard that before.
I think we just...
The realm of wind and ghosts.
I think it's just come up around the moon base. I don't know.
You would just be like, oh, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny because then you just phase right through me.
Yeah.
The next match, speaking of storytelling, a lot of in-ring storytelling, but a lot of the storytelling happens before the bell even rings. This is a grudge match.
Yes.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Defending against Samoa Joe in a singles match for the WWE Championship. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, they've been friends for 20 years? Is that what AJ said? They were on TNA Impact back in the day. And I know we've mentioned this before, but to reiterate, the homegrown superstars of TNA Impact.
Yeah.
Like, the big stars on TNA way back were mostly people who you were vaguely aware of their names from their time at WCW or WWE, WWF, except for a handful of people. Abyss, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles were the big names that were sort of like, wow, these guys are great. Where did they come from? You know? And so AJ and Joe have been wrestling each other, for ages. And they are not friends anymore. Or at least Joe is determined that they are
Samoa
not
Joe
friends.
has been absolutely awesome for this build. Or was absolutely awesome. He's still awesome. But I've always liked Joe.
Yeah.
And this build, there was one SmackDown, sorry, where AJ Styles was out in the ring and calling out Joe, and Joe wasn't coming out. And then they cut to the backstage, and Joe's on the phone. And he's on the phone with AJ's wife, Wendy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Wendy, I'll be at that dance recital for whatever AJ's daughter name is, and then hangs up like, damn. I was just like, holy shit.
Because we had that, in the SummerSlam match, we referenced the bit where he gets on the mic and he's like, I'll be your new daddy.
Yeah. And then he did this great bit where he like read a story.
Yeah, so the video package before this match was Samoa Joe reading a bedtime story.
Yeah, build is great, man. Joe and AJ have unbelievable chemistry together, and they kick the piss out of each other in this match.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I loved this match.
I never get tired of how fast Samoa Joe moves.
Yeah.
How startlingly.
Yeah, startling is the word to describe Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Explosive and startling. Awesome. Loved it. Mm-hmm. I mean, so at one point in the match, Samoa Joe absolutely murders AJ with a clothesline. Mm-hmm. I felt it. It was crazy. I think it was like after, I can't remember what move it happened after, but it was like near the end of the match. And then AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, and Joe catches him in the coquina clutch.
AJ is bleeding a lot at this point in the match.
He got his mouth was all bloody because he got punched in the face. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
This was like a New Japan match.
Yeah.
This was like, remember when AJ and Cena had those series of matches, and then the one random match at like SummerSlam or one year, everyone's like, this looks like a New Japan match because AJ called it.
Yeah.
Because the other ones was Cena calling the match, but this was definitely looks like very New Japan-ish.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have New Japan in the U.S., I guess, but it was just like adjacent, and Joe has AJ in the coquina clutch, and then AJ does like he flips over to do like a pinning combination on Joe.
Yeah.
But just before the ref counts 3, on the opposite side of where the ref is counting, AJ starts tapping. So
it's like 1, 2, tap, tap, tap to 3.
Like what they did with Taker and Lesnar.
Yeah. So AJ's tapping out on Joe because he can't reach the mat, and the ref's counting. The bell rings, and so Joe is like, "Ha-ha," because he could feel AJ tapping on him, and they replay it. This is amazing. The shot of his face when the announcer goes, "Your winner," and Joe's like, "Yes," and still champion. He goes, "What?"
It's so great.
He's just so, and then he gets so mad at the ref.
Yeah.
And yeah, they exchange some frank words.
They exchange pleasantries.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they replay it as well, and you can see AJ watching the replay, and he's sort of like, "Huh, I win." I mean,
I mean, it feels weird that we have yet another AJ title defense that's kind of like a screwy finish almost, but I'm fine with it. This series, the build-up is so good.
It'll give Joe more ammunition.
So yeah, I mean, later on in the show, Joe confronts Paige, and he's like,
"This is doing an amazing job, by the way."
Been
I
awesome.
love that he's just belting at her, and she's like, "First of all, you shut up."
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember exactly what she said.
She said, "Don't you ever interrupt me ever again."
Yeah.
Is the thing. I was like, whoa. Even the crowd was like, oh.
"Yes, ma'am."
Sitting on my hands like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And she's like 23
Yeah,
or something.
she's young.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she made a match, a no DQ, no count out match for the Australian Super Show.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks. But see, the thing I don't get about this is like that doesn't help Joe. It should have been a submission only match because then Joe couldn't have been pinned, right? Like,
True.
If you think about it, it's like, man, Joe should have asked for a submission only match.
So she made that match because he was asking for it.
Yeah.
He said, I want no holds barred, no DQ. I just want to tear him apart. Yeah. But you're right. He should have just asked. Because does AJ have a reliable submission?
Yeah, he's got the calf crusher.
He's got the calf crusher.
Yeah.
But
that's the way that this match played out, and Joe got screwed over because AJ taps, but Joe got pinned, right? So if he makes it submission only, then that just plays into the storyline of the match.
Yeah.
It just made, and that was the only thing. Like, I'm fine. Like, whatever. If I had to nitpick, that's me nitpicking.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention there was a short scene earlier with the New Day bragging about their win with Kofi dressed like a backstage announcer.
Kofi's doing like this old school like 80s backstage announce, like a Mean Gene kind of shtick.
Like, well, New Day, what's next for you? And they're going to be defending the titles against the Bar at the
Australian Super Show.
Australian Super Show. There was also a brief backstage scene with Braun Strowman talking to Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Because Mick Foley is the special guest referee. Not his first time being special guest referee for a Hell in a Cell match, but he's the special guest referee for the main event. And they had an exchange.
It was weird because Foley was injected into that match like the go home episode of Raw.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like, by the way, Mick Foley is going to be a referee.
They had the special, and it's 20 years. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I think if Joe doesn't win at the Super Show,
that's probably the blowout for the feud, one way or another.
But I think that's the point where I'm just like, because I thought Shinsuke should have won the title during that feud, but he didn't. And I was like, okay, that's fine. They did it. I thought the story was really good, and they did a really good job.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke's been doing his own thing with the U.S. title, which he's absent from the show, which is weird. But
right, because it's a dual branded pay-per-view, because now they're all dual branded pay-per-views because the solo branded pay-per-view experiment did not work.
It was too many pay-per-views.
Too many pay-per-views.
And we breathed a heavy sigh of relief when they were like, we're going to cut down the number of pay-per-views.
Not even as content creators, as viewers.
Yeah.
It was just like, this too much wrestling.
Yeah. It was like, this calls for a celebration.
Yeah.
Put the needle on.
I'm sorry. You were talking about...
If Joe doesn't win this, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I might actually be upset as a wrestling fan. Joe's been so good.
Really, really good.
So, Joe, you are very good at what you do. I know you're probably never going to see this, but just know that I, Adam Savadan, on the year of our Lord 2018, think that you might possibly be one of the best sports entertainers to ever live.
I was very sports entertained.
Yeah. And I mean that just in his promos. I talk about, like, I think he's a great wrestler too.
Oh, yeah.
I just mean the build-up and his sports entertainment part of it.
Speaking of sports entertainment, our next match is The Miz and Maurice versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Brie Bella's back.
Yep.
Basically, The Miz and Maurice, a.k.a. Miz and Mrs., which we talked about before. They have their own, quite successful, as it turns out.
Is it?
Yeah. Reality show. They continue to harass Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
And now it becomes personal.
Yeah.
In a similar sort of vein to what Samoa Joe and AJ Styles are doing, but not nearly as intense. But basically, The Miz is sort of like, man, you couldn't wait to get back in the ring. You know, now you don't have to worry about, being at home with Brie. You're basically an absent father sort of thing. And they play all these clips, all these out of context clips from Total Divas because like the drama on Total Divas, which is a separate reality show, remember, where that's just as scripted as the main show, is that Daniel Bryan is a nice guy, but isn't around a lot.
Yeah.
And so Brie is like, oh, I'm basically a single mom sort of thing. It's this, obviously this is not true, but that's sort of what they put forward. So they use a lot of clips from that in the video package for this. And then to defend her husband's honor and her own, Brie Bella came back.
So they left the baby at home alone.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, I know how we can solve this. We can be together. We just won't have the baby. I'll come to you. And
there was a great part of an interview that Marie said, she's like, you had to come back to wrestling after your pregnancy to pay the bills, because at the time Daniel was retired.
Yeah.
And then Maurice was like, I came back to wrestling like after a month of having my baby.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
Maurice
you
had a
took
kid.
months and months, and
Maurice had a kid 5 months before this match. Yeah. And they were at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was really great, like heel work. Miz is awesome. Why is the Miz so good?
I don't know.
Miz world title run when?
Yeah.
He's got to be due.
Yeah. They really should.
Like, I think if Joe loses to AJ at the Super Show, Miz is going to beat AJ at Survivor Series. And then I think they'll do Bryan versus Miz at WrestleMania. I think.
That'd be good.
But That's only if Joe loses. If Joe wins at the Super Show and wins the title, then I have no idea what they're doing with that. But
who knows? But this match is a mixed tag match between The Miz and Maurice and Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, and they get their own entrances.
Yeah.
They actually finally, not that I was desperate to hear Maurice's particular ring entrance again, because the music is like fine, but
it's very mid-2000s.
Yeah, but I was like, oh hey, right, Maurice has her own theme song. Yeah. Maurice is a 2-time champion, by the way. So this was a very silly match.
It was awesome. I liked it.
It was fun,
yeah,
but it was very silly.
Yeah.
It largely revolved around Maurice didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
So
she was so great.
There was, because the way the mixed tag, this is not, because some promotions will do an intergender match where it doesn't matter who's tagged in or not.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. This is a mixed tag match, which is when it's the men fight the men and the women fight the women.
Yeah.
So if a tag happens, the other team is obliged to trade.
Yeah.
And so Brie was like, I want to start. And Daniel's like, okay, go ahead. And so Brie was in there with Maurice, and then the bell rings and Maurice immediately tags Miz in. And so that sort of went on for a while with Maurice desperately not wanting to actually have to fight Brie, to the point where I think at one point she was basically stuck there, like Miz was knocked out outside the ring.
Yeah.
And looked really nervous and afraid of having to actually fight Brie, and then at the last second, Miz popped back in and tagged, and they didn't have to. So there was a lot of like, oh, something's about to happen. Tag. Oh, okay, fine. I guess we'll switch. You know, and again, this was all played very well.
Yeah.
And then, entertainingly, Maurice wins.
Yeah, but there was a great moment before this too, like, where Brie Bella did a baseball slide through the Miz's legs to get at Maurice.
Yeah.
Like, slid under and like went to go attack her on the apron. It was really great. A lot of fire shown by Brie Bella here that I didn't expect.
Well, she starts wailing on Miz at one point. Yeah. She starts just like landing blows on the Miz as well.
So Maurice puts her feet on the ropes, I think. She like does a roll up and puts her feet on the ropes and gets the pin, and they win again. So yep. Daniel Bryan is beat again by the Miz. And
the double kicks was like a little goofy.
Yeah. This whole match is goofy.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but it was fun.
Yeah, they look so devastated. Like Brie especially looks mad that they lost this match, because the story they were telling was that she had a lot personally riding on it, just sort of like feeling of like self-worth.
I mean, even what we talked about last time, where Daniel Bryan believes that he is the best wrestler in the world, and to lose to Miz, who wrestles that safe WWE style, and now to lose to Miz and Maurice, who he feel embody like everything he kind of stands against, like that glitzy, overproduced kind of lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah. Even though that's not like who the Miz really is, obviously, but the Miz character he stands against.
Update on Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
He has been producing blood from his mouth.
Yeah.
Someone says throwing up blood, and then it gets changed to producing blood from his mouth at the local medical facility.
Producing.
Or something. It's like...
I just picture Jeff Hardy really, like, you want to see a magic trick?
It's just this really innocuous description of like coughing up blood.
Yeah.
Again, this is all not true. This is still just like, oh, Jeff got beat so bad in that Hell in a Cell match.
Ooh, spooky.
Tune on Tuesday. Our second to last match, the penultimate match of the evening.
Yeah.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey defending the Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss.
How do you feel about Ronda? Ronda's character. Ronda is a character and as a performer. A couple months in now. It's been since WrestleMania, right?
Honestly,
also WrestleMania April, May, June, July, August. She's okay.
Way more positively than I thought, to be honest.
Like, I think she's been doing really well, but me personally, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch her, but I'm not like, ooh, I can't wait to watch the Ronda Rousey match. Right?
No, that's true, but it's better than the alternative, which was like, oof, right? I was expecting it to like, I don't know. I figured she'd be like decent enough on the mic because she has personality. Honestly, she was not great initially and has improved on the mic significantly in a very short period of time once she's like shaken the nerves out. Yeah. But I was worried about her in the ring, and I think she's been good. Really good. Yeah. Like, again, I'm not like like, woo, Ronda Rousey, I can't wait to see this match. But it's like, oh, yeah, all right, cool, sure.
Cool, good for you.
So, Alexa Bliss, how do you make 5 Feet of Fury look remotely credible as a competitor against former UFC champion Ronda Rousey?
It's pretty hard. Well, she kept hitting Ronda's ribs. Like, she just kept attacking them. And then in the match, she worked on the ribs. And it was weird because...
it was all played in this video package.
It's hard to buy Ronda... Because now all of a sudden, like, because Ronda has spent like 5 months not selling anything, really. And now in this match, they're like, they expect us to believe Ronda selling. That's my only complaint.
That's
it's a
fair.
minor nitpick. Like,
No,
it's
that's,
just like,
that's reasonable.
it's like the Brock Lesnar thing.
It's like,
right?
all right, you need to actually be human now.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, fair. It has to happen at some point, but it's just, it's such a sudden shift. It's like, ugh.
I find it interesting, though, that they sort of play Rousey as she has to get, because she's won everything on this armbar so far. And so she keeps trying to lock in the armbar because it's like, well, I just need to do this.
Yeah.
This is how I win these matches. And when she can't get the armbar locked in right away is when she starts having difficulty.
Yeah.
Right. So that I think is interesting. But you're right in that she is actually like, it's like, hey, she actually has weakness.
What I would like to see, now that you've mentioned, when you said that, it just like clicked something in my head. What I would love to see is like when she loses the title, lose like some way to like, because she always just goes for the armbar, like it gets reversed, she gets pinned. She loses the title. And then the next match, she just goes for the armbar, gets reversed, she gets pinned. Like people scout her, and then like she's like, oh, I can't just keep going for this armbar, and we can see some like growth from her as a performer.
Yeah.
But like, I think that would be an interesting storyline. Just like, I have to win by armbar. That's all I know, right? Like, so.
By the way, this is Ronda Rousey accompanied to the ring by Natalya,
Yep.
who's her training partner and friend. So they say. Maybe that may not be true, but I believe they did actually. I believe Natalya did actually help her train.
I think that's been her, like WWE paired her with Natalya because the mentor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, Natalya is paired with Kevin Owens for the mixed tag challenge.
Right.
And they have their team paws or something like that.
Yeah.
Something kitty paws, cat paws, or there's team paws or something
And
like that.
Kevin Owens like, why are we named that? Who decide? I know you decided this. Can I have some sort of input, please? Yeah. And Alexa Bliss comes to the ring accompanied by Alicia Fox and Mickie James.
Yep.
Alicia Fox dressed like the ghost of a sea captain. She's dressed like all in white with a captain's hat. It looks great. And like it's totally over the top and awesome.
I just like the way you said that. Like you were really looking for the right thing to say, and then all of a sudden you just got an inspiration. Like,
the ghost of a sea captain.
It's genius.
And they obviously get into some stuff outside.
Yeah, match was okay.
Yeah.
It was good. Ronda continues to improve, and I don't mind the direction that they're going with her. I feel like they needed to maybe make her human a bit quicker, but I mean, it's only been 5 months, so that's not that long, right? So I think this is a good step forward with the Ronda Rousey era, which we are in now, and to make her look human will go a long way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I think they learned their lesson with Brock Lesnar, where it was like he was inhuman for like 2 years, and we were just like, ugh, can we move on from this, please?
Yeah. And she does end up winning. In case it was unclear, Rousey does win with the armbar. There
was a great tweet that I saw. I can't remember, but it was like there was a moment where Bliss was like standing over Ronda and like had her face and was like snarling at her, and someone tweeted like when the final hour is coming and Ariel hasn't received a kiss or something. Like it was like she was Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Yeah, it was really funny. It made me laugh.
And now, your main event for the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah.
It is a Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defending against Braun Strowman in Hell in a Cell with special guest referee Mick Foley. They mentioned Braun Strowman is only the third person to announce when they would be cashing in.
Yeah.
They're like, maybe this will work out for maybe it won't. But yeah, basically, Braun Strowman had been like, look, I have this briefcase, I have the contract, I want your title, let's do it at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And so this is Strowman's Money in the Bank cash-in match.
Do you consider Braun Strowman a heel now?
No.
Yeah, neither do I. And everyone's all freaking out. Like,
Are we supposed to?
I think so.
How?
The people,
Why?
well, okay,
Everyone
wrestling
loves
fans.
Okay.
Let's preface this.
Okay.
Wrestling fans are all up in arms because like the Shield came back.
What kind of fan? Because the Shield came back, so
and they're
we're
like,
supposed
so
to
we're like, so what? Braun's a heel now? He's got McIntyre and Ziggler. It's like, in 2018, WWE is just shades of gray. And then I throw the mug across the room. Like, it's just shades of gray. Unless you're like the Miz.
You go through more mugs that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cut out a lot of it in editing.
This is his like 5th mug this episode.
This episode, yeah. We have a lot of these same mugs that look exactly like. So the only people that are like true, honest to goodness heels.
Yeah.
Miz.
And Tommaso Ciampa.
And Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, that's it. Everyone else is like, you know? Maybe Ziggler and McIntyre, I guess.
I guess.
But I like McIntyre so much that I don't consider him a heel. But I don't know, just people seem so hung up on stuff. It's just because Roman's involved.
Yeah.
And they get all up in arms about everything.
Like, it can...
I like this match, too.
There wasn't really a heel or a face in the Charlotte-Becky match,
No.
really. And there isn't, honestly, really a heel or a face in this match. It's Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, and they want to fight for the title.
It's just like Rusev Day against the New Day.
Yeah.
There's no real strong heel or face.
Yeah.
Shades of Grey!
Stop it. So, oh yes, and with Mick Foley as the surprise special guest referee. This takes some turns.
Yeah.
So first off, early in the match, Mick Foley like counts 3 when he's not necessarily supposed to, but the way that they handle it makes me think that it was planned. Like he counts, it's like 1, 2,
oops.
And they're like, did he just count 3?
Yeah.
And Strowman's like, is that it? And Foley's like, no, it was almost 3. It was almost 3, but my word stands. And Strowman gets really annoyed at him because they talked. I mentioned it briefly, but I didn't go deep on it. They talked backstage, and Foley was like, look, when we're in there, you have to respect my authority as referee. And Strowman's like, then if you just do your job and count to 3, then we won't have a problem. But
that totally went over my head. Yeah, that's a good point. But they mentioned it.
But if you do, then you'll have a monster of a problem.
Oh, how did I not put this together? You're so smart, Graham. What's it like to be a genius?
It's pretty amazing. Really. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Hi, welcome to my TED Talk. So they do this like the count, and then Strowman and Foley start arguing, and Foley's like, no, you could keep going with the fight that guy.
Yeah.
And then went over, get your old ass down and count.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Man, they beat up each other pretty good in this match. I like the start of it.
So you recall from Mania last year that Reigns defeated Undertaker by powering up the was it the spear or the Superman punch?
Spear. Doing like the 8 different, like he's just running. Yeah, he's getting. You ever seen that episode of American Dad where his kid hires Stan, who is the dad in the show.
His childhood bully.
Childhood bully to Castellios Contos. And then he's like, he's gaining speed at an incredible rate. Yeah. But that's all I can think of every time someone mentions, like, anytime someone's like doing, like, they run extra to power up a move. It's like, he's gaining speed at an incredible rate.
So you know how you power up the Superman punch, right? Because that's what's predicated by the ooh-ah, right? Is by...
the Superman punch is predicated by him punching the ground.
Oh, so this was
the spear.
This is the spear. Yeah. So how do you power up the spear in Hell in a Cell? Yeah. You whip yourself around the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
Because they're close to the turnbuckles on the hard camera side. Mm-hmm. So Reigns does the ooh-ah and then runs around. He whips himself around one corner and whips himself around another corner. He's basically laps the ring to power up the spear.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, Braun Strowman just picks up the steps and puts them into his face.
It was pretty great.
At some point closer to the end of the match, Ziggler and McIntyre run down to the ring and start haranguing the officials who are outside to let them in to the cell, and the refs are like, No?
Yeah, they were just like, it was so great. They're just like...
This is the whole point. Yeah. This is the point of Hell in a Cell, is that people can't get into it, or at least they're not supposed to.
Come on, I'll be your friend.
Yeah, and so then Ambrose and Rollins run down, and they start fighting with Ziggler and McIntyre. And then, because bad ideas have to happen at some point, they start climbing the cell. So they start climbing up, eventually ending up with all 4 of them on top of the cell, Ambrose with a kendo stick.
This whole pay-per-view felt very Attitude Era to me.
Yeah.
Like a mess of a main event with a lot of outside interference, and there's a lot going on. Probably too much, but
Yeah.
there. And like the screwdriver thing, and like
What move did they do up there? It was like a
there's just a backdrop.
suplex.
It was
Yeah,
like,
just a backdrop.
And it was just like,
and everyone's like, oh. You know, thankfully afterwards the announcers were like, thank God.
they reinforced that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, woo boy, would you do it? How much would I have to pay you? Like, Graham, I'm gonna body slam you on top of the Hell in a Cell.
Oh. Because it wasn't supposed to break originally.
No.
Remember?
But I don't think they even knew they were going. Did they know they were going up there?
Well, these guys did.
No, but I mean, like Foley.
Oh, originally, no.
Yeah, I don't think they knew they were going up there.
No.
Or else they would have been like, no. Hell no, man.
Yeah. And so Ambrose goes up and starts like twatting people in the face with his kendo stick, and they're all fighting back and forth. Ziggler tries to get away. He tries to go like laterally along and then down a little bit, and then he and Rollins end up on the halfway point, and they both go down through the announce tables. I think it was the German announce table. They had
it's the Germans usually on the right.
SmackDown. They had the SmackDown, Spanish, and German tables at ringside, and then Raw was Raw at ringside?
No, Raw was at ringside.
Okay.
Michael Cole was there.
All right. I thought Raw was up the ramp. Anyway.
I mean, it's the same spot that millions of people done it before, but it still looks cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like Ambrose. I remember Ambrose and Rollins did that same spot. Remember when they had their Hell in a Cell years ago?
Oh yeah, right.
Forever ago.
Yeah.
When they started on top of the cage. So, we got all this carnage.
Yeah.
Rollins and Ziggler go crashing outside of the ring. I can't do a good impression of his theme music.
Oh, yeah. Well, it starts with the...
Yeah, it's this tweedledee, like the...
Everyone's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
I jumped up out of my seat. I was like, whoa! I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. I didn't think I'd be so excited to see Brock. As much as we all hated Brock Lesnar.
That was Brock Lesnar's music, by the way.
So, yeah. If you couldn't figure it out. But like, we were all sick of Brock, and then he's gone for like less than a month. And I'm like, yeah, Brock's back! It's like,
well,
I'm part of the problem.
Because I thought we were done with it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they finally got the title off Lesnar. He's going to go back to UFC to do whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
To do whatever.
Cool. You know, like we can move on with our lives. And then he and Paul Heyman come out, and he's got a beard.
Yeah, he looks good.
He actually looks
like he's so much like thinner, like he's lost a lot of weight.
Because I think he's training for UFC now.
Yeah. But he looked like big before in the WWE. Like he was looking like kind of, not that he looked out of shape, but just like bigger. Because remember Brock Lesnar when he like debuted and he was like tall and thin and like he's still jacked. He's like this big monster. He looks like closer to like old Brock Lesnar, except with a beard. He looks good with a beard.
So he tears
Brock, if you're watching, keep the beard, buddy.
He tears down the ramp.
Yeah.
Kicks the door off Hell in a Cell.
Well, he does the same thing where they're like, Paul Heyman's like, open the door. And the ref's like, no. And then he's like,
Lesnar's
if you don't open the door, he's going to have his way with you. And the ref's like, no.
Yeah.
And then Brock Lesnar kicks the door down.
Kicks the door through. Foley comes out to try and stop him. I don't know what he's thinking. Yeah. Paul Heyman sprays Foley in the face with mace.
Yeah.
So Foley's incapacitated. Lesnar picks up the door and chucks it into the ring.
Yeah. Well, no, he leans it up and uses it as like a ramp to like run up.
And just starts really funny. Starts beating Strowman and Reigns with pieces of table.
Yeah.
There were table shots. Sorry, take it as read that there were table bumps during the match. So he starts hitting them with pieces of table. F5's Strowman and then F5's Reigns onto Strowman and then leaves. And then another referee who doesn't have mace in his eyes comes out.
This is the only part I hated of this pay-per-view.
Was the other referee?
The ref coming out and then calling it? It's like, it's Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, he ran out and was like, no contest.
It's like, what?
And that's the end of the show.
It's like, Kane, the Hell in a Cell with Takers and Michael, Kane comes down, rips the door off the cage.
Yeah.
Tombstone's Taker, and then there's like no contest. Like, Shawn Michaels just pins Undertaker.
Yeah. I guess they were both so incapacitated that the ref was like, well, we're done here. So, I mean, I guess we'll have to find out what happens. We've never recorded this early. We'll have to find out what happens tonight.
On Raw. Yeah.
On Raw.
Feels good, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel good?
Because I assume, it's pretty sweet, yeah. I assume.
Maybe one day we'll get like the night of. We'll watch it and we'll record right afterwards.
Stuff to do.
I know you got stuff to do.
Go to bed. Like sleep. I assume it's because they're based in the UK, but like I'm always impressed with the cultaholic folks.
Yeah, and like they do
when
the night
they have it
night after.
right up, because I assume they're watching it live and the time zones allow them to do that without staying up until ass o'clock.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, don't they watch it like 4 a.m.? Because the pay-per-views are on at like 4 a.m. for them.
So
3 or 4.
If they start at like...
If it starts at 4 o'clock our time.
Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They start at midnight?
Oh. Yeah, so they're up until like 3 or 4.
Oh, barf.
Yeah,
okay,
right?
That's worse.
See, it's way worse.
Wow, props to you folks on your grind.
Hashtag blessed. Hashtag
time zones.
Time zones.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess the ref was just like, well, neither of these guys are getting up. So I assume that tonight on Raw, Strowman is going to be like, well, that obviously doesn't count as my Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give it to but maybe I think they're just going to make a triple threat at either the Super Show.
Super Show,
yeah.
Right. By the way, the Super Show in Melbourne also has Triple H versus The Undertaker.
And the promos have been awesome.
The promos were sweet, but it's like, apparently Taker's going to be on Raw tonight.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's like Taker versus Triple H for the last time ever. Unlike that previous time, which was supposed to be the last time ever.
John Cena versus The Rock.
Twice in a lifetime.
When are we getting thrice in a lifetime? That's what I'm asking. Thrice in a lifetime.
So, obviously I'm feeling really fresh having done Hell in a Cell the day after the pay-per-view, but are we going to do a thing about the Super Show?
Yeah.
All right.
We did a thing about the Saudi Arabia one.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess
it'll be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be a nice relaxing show because you don't really have to pay. I guess they're doing storylines a little bit, but you can just watch the show and not have to really worry.
Because the next thing after Super Showdown is Evolution, which is end of October.
And then when's Survivor Series? November? Is that the next pay-per-view after that?
I guess. Yeah. I guess it is. Yeah.
Huh.
So there we go.
So we'll cover the Super Show and then we'll cover Evolution.
And I have not had a chance to watch All In.
Neither have I.
I am hoping to. I don't know if we will actually talk about it. It's probably too much to ask to do an episode about it. Yeah. I don't know that we'll talk about it on one of the episodes, but I'll at least try to watch it so I can respond to people on Twitter, because people are like, have you seen All In? And I hear it was great. Yeah. And I am really excited to see it. Don't think that I'm only in it for the WWE, but I just haven't had an opportunity to see it. But apparently it was a sweet show.
Camera's gonna go off and be like, "That shut those SOBs up." And Graham smokes his cigarette and puts it out on me. And
yep, that's me. It's total chain smoker over here. How long have we been recording for? I got to get out there. I got to get off camera and knock half a pack back. So yeah, that's Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Feels good to be getting back into this.
I know. We're on a streak. We're on a two
episode streak. Yeah. Until next time.
Yeah.
As always, I am on Twitter at Graham_LRR. If you want to hit me up there.
Yep.
If you want to hit up Adam on Twitter.
I'm at WakeUpSuper.
And you should check out Adam's new show, Spectator Mode.
I can say that now.
Also on this channel.
Yeah.
It is about esports and. I mean, I guess I should let you pitch your own show, but it's for people who don't know about a given game, and why they should care about a given game.
I take a game that's played hyper competitively, and maybe in the future that it won't even be a game that's played competitively.
Yeah.
But I do a short introduction about the mechanics and everything else, and then we have an interview portion where I take someone from the community and talk to them about the players and the history and everything else. And I thought that. While the first episode was a little rough around the edges, but I think that's a first episode thing. And as we go forward, I'm very excited to refine it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first episode is on League of Legends,
Yep.
and it is on our YouTube channel, which if you're watching this, is this channel.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, it's on our YouTube channel, which is Loading Ready Run. And shout outs as always to Ben, our editor. Thanks, Ben. And until next time, this show and everything we do, including spectator mode, is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun.
Yeah.
That will do it. We will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.